Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this presentation. I will be showing you everything that you need to know about our school management software, Silver School Master. For those of you who do not know me, I am Emmanuel and I'm a software developer from Silverlinks. Silverlinks is a media and tech company located in Bamenda, Cameroon. So before we proceed guys, I would like to take this opportunity to make a big shout out to our clients in Douala, Vichy School Complex and Love Rich International Bilingual School Complex, and to our clients in Bamenda, Blessed School Complex, Nacho Technical College, Christ the King College, St. Andrew Technical College, Votech S7 Academy, Bangom Academic Complex, Ambi School Complex, our Memorial College, and of course Heart of Life Comprehensive College. These schools have been there for us, supporting us financially by subscribing to this software yearly, and of course with their recommendations, which have made this software to be always getting better and better, and why not the best in Cameroon. Thank you very much. We are so glad having you people as our clients, and we promise to give you people just the very best. Welcome back guys. In this section we'll be showing you an overview of the software, how it looks like. When you get the software, you'll be given two logins, one for the general administrator and another one for the finance administrator. The general administrator has privileges for student registration. You can register new students, add existing students, edit information of registered students, and manage the fee situation of a particular student. The general administrator can do subject registration, that is, import and register existing subjects, create and register new subjects, select multiple subjects and register in a particular class, attach teachers to various subjects in various classes, edit subject registration information, and of course, remove a registered subject that is not needed in a particular class. For class registration, the general administrator can register existing classes, create and register new classes, edit information about registered classes, add different fees to different classes, and of course, remove unwanted classes. Without forgetting employee registration, the general administrator can register existing employees in a particular academic year, create and register new employees, edit employees' registration information, and of course, remove unwanted employees. Now let us move on to the academics modules. The administrator has the privilege of managing students' marks, that is, printing of blank mark sheets and giving to teachers to fill in their marks and return to the school for onward transmission. Manually inputting these marks into the system, or exporting the mark sheets in Excel format and giving to teachers to fill their marks from their phones or with their computers at the comfort of their homes. Collection of marks in soft copy and with just a button click, importing all the marks into the system. And of course, printing of other school items like the class list. The administrator can also review and update the courses enrolled by students for various classes by selecting a particular class and enrolling all the students for all the subjects in that class, or enrolling the students one by one for different subjects in that particular class. Editing and removing subjects registered for a particular student in a particular class. The administrator is also allowed to view, analyze, and publish results of students. This is done by printing the mark sheet and publishing it for the students to see and correct their marks before printing of report cards. Printing of the broadsheet for the class council to sit and analyze the results of the students. This broadsheet carries critical analysis like the students' average, class average, number of papers written, number passed, percentage passed, subject analysis like number of students who wrote a particular subject, number passed, percentage passed for that particular subject. All these analyses are very critical for a class council meeting. The administrator can view and print the report cards of the students, either by class or individually. The report cards are made in two designs which the school can choose, either the classic design or the technical design. However, the report cards all have a header, a student details section, a section for the students' marks by subject and by category, showing category totals and the sub-averages for each category. And of course, the terminal results section, which shows the student average, class average, position, remark, and other analysis. These report cards can be exported to PDF for further printing, maybe out of the school if the school doesn't have a printer, or they can be sent directly to the printer from the software. The administrator can also print other reports for the student, like the student's information sheet, the student's attendance sheet, and the transcript of the student for over the years that the student has been in that school. So those were the general functions of the administrator of the software. However, there are specific functions for the financial administrator, which we will be seeing just in a bit. The finance administrator has his own login, which he can use to access the program and have additional features, some of which are the collection and recording of students' fees in different accounts like registration, tuition, PTA, examination, and so on. These accounts can be customized based on the structure of the school. Now, when these fees are recorded, receipts can be printed. These receipts have the name of the student, the amount collected both in words and in figures, the balances after collection of the fees, and of course a barcode that secures the receipt. These receipts also have a duplicate that can be kept in school for backup. While collecting students' fees, discounts can be granted to these students, which will go a long way to reduce the balance owing by that particular student. These discounts can also be granted in different fee accounts. The finance administrator also has privileges of recording school expenses under different expense heads like salary expenses, purchase expenses, payment of bills, and many others. These expenses can be customized based on the nature of the school. And of course, these expenses, when recorded, will be displayed on the financial reports of that school. So this takes us to the financial reporting system of the software. The finance administrator has privileges of viewing and printing the fee control sheet class by class. This report shows the total fees owing and total paid by each student for that class, the balance owing considering discount, and of course the percentage paid for that student in that particular class. So at the end of this report, we can see the total fees expected for that class, the total collected, and of course the balance of fees owing in that class. Moving on, the finance administrator can also view and print the financial statements for a particular period. This period can be daily, weekly, monthly, or a customized period selected by the finance administrator. So the financial report shows the income as per income heads, the income per class, the total incomes for each category, and the expenditure as per expenditure head and their totals per each category. And at the end of the report, we can see the total income for the period, the total expenditure for the period, and the result for the period, whether it is a profit or a loss. There is also a summary of the financial report which shows the various income grouped per income head for each student in a particular class, and it also shows the total of the incomes received by each student in that class. However, our financial statements can be exported to Excel for further processing and analysis. The finance administrator can also print out the ledger account for a specific period of time. This account shows the balances of individual accounts like the bank account, the cash account, or an expense or a revenue account. And it shows each of these accounts shows the opening balance of that account, the movements within the period, and the balances after each transaction. And at the end of the day, it shows the closing balance of that account. Alright, we have come to the end of this presentation, and I just want to take a moment to talk about the security of the software. We have a very good user level security, which means that the user only gets to see what they are permitted to see, and they only get to access what they are permitted to access. Like if you log in as a teacher, you will only be able to access the mark sheets of your subject, the subjects that you teach. If you log in as an administrator, you will not be able to see the data of the finance administrator. But you can input marks for every teacher. You can do all registration, all kinds of things, but you are not allowed to go to the financial aspect of the software unless you are logged in as the finance administrator. The finance administrator is not permitted to fill in marks. If you are a finance administrator and you are also a teacher, then you will have two logins, which means that you will have to also have a teacher's login that you can log in and fill your marks. So we have quite a lot of security going on in the software. Then we have database security, which we implemented with MySQL. We use MySQL to host our data, and most schools, since they don't want to work with a server, we use a Microsoft Access database file to store their data, which is a bit vulnerable, but the sensitive data is kept in a very secured location, which I will not say it in this video. However, I hear around that Microsoft Access is very vulnerable to hackers, and anybody who picks up your database can just get in and do whatever thing that they want to do. But I dare you to try this one. You can even get an expert in Microsoft Access development to try to see if they can hack into any unauthorized data in this application. They will not, they cannot, because we have done a lot of research. We have implemented a lot of security in the software, and we are even comfortable enough to give out a trial version so that people can try it out, and if it is good, then they go ahead to buy it. If we were not so sure of what we are doing, we will never give out a trial version of the software. So be rest assured that your data, your software is very secure, and nobody can change whatever thing that we have put in this software without our permission. So thank you very much. It's been a very long video, and we tried to put in all what is required to manage a school in this software. But if you did not find your own specific feature that you are looking for, then you can always recommend new features to us, and we will make sure that by next year, as we are releasing the next version of the software, your recommendations will be implemented. We are here because you are there, and we will not be here if you were not there. So thank you very much, and we hope that you are enjoying our software, or we hope that you enjoy this presentation and you take this software and try it out and you enjoy it, and then you buy the software. Thank you very much, and stay blessed.